Hey everybody, I think I'm live here. Yeah, I believe I am live here. This is Jay, and you've reached me during my office hours. I'm here to work on open source and to show you what that's like. Yeah, I believe I am. Today, usually I come up here and I pull up an IDE and I go, do something code related, but I don't really think that's in the cards for me today, and I'll tell you why. And it's a good story of like what can kind of happen in open source when you're in a position where you got to keep things running. In fact, I don't know if you've ever read it, but if you haven't read my what is it called? What do I call it? It's here. Let's. If only I had a full shared screen here that I could bring it up. Yeah, the Invisible Work of OpenStack blog series. I actually have one incoming soon on the amount of the like Herculean effort it takes to keep all of our various OpenStack stable branches running. And I got bit by that yesterday. Oh, I should clean that up. Where something and it broke the gate. So I spent a long amount of time yesterday working on it. It's actually a pretty good story because I went through and I fixed it, but I convinced myself it wasn't fixed. So like within about the first 90 minutes, I figured out the path to go. I got a fix in place, but I managed to talk myself out of it being the correct fix because I saw lots of errors in the log. And so I kind of went down the rabbit hole of, okay, is there a better way to fix this rather than just working around it? And what ended up happening is at one point I went, you know what? I'm going to go have a look at the jobs that were passing before this issue started. And what I saw was the ugly errors that I thought were indicating that my workaround was wrong was there the whole time. So, sort of a lesson, and this is one of those things you learn it, and then you sometimes got to relearn it and relearn it. That you can't just take for granted that every error message is your fault. I guess is a way to say it. We kind of have that core problem where we like to attribute all the problems to ourselves as if we caused them, but the reality is things are broken before we were around, and they'll continue to be broken when we're gone. Especially be broken when I'm gone, because who's going to fix it? No, I'm just kidding. There are lots of people upstream who fix stuff. Particularly, we call out Rick and Julia, who spend a lot of their time keeping CI up. I do that some too. But so all this is to say that I am basically just had a day cut out of my life this week. And so a lot of times what loses in that is code review. And I have projects of my own ongoing. I need to get sharding done. The ability to query port by node shard. I have to get that done before Antelope release. But the reality is like as a PTL, as like a leader on the project, I feel like, it's almost more important to me to make sure other people are unblocked. So we're going to spend a little bit of time today reviewing patches. And I'm just going to sort of talk about how I do that. So, one thing that's worth knowing and thinking about is you've probably seen it on this before, is that OpenStack uses Garrett. So it's not quite the same as GitHub in terms of UI and stuff. And I'll point out some of the differences as I go through it. But that'll be one of the things you're looking for. One of the things that Garrett lets you do, though, is it lets you set some metadata on patches. And one of those pieces of metadata is called a hashtag. I honestly have no idea the reason why they call it a hashtag. Maybe someone trying to be cool when they come up with it. Maybe there's some... But more realistically, there's probably some reason it's named that I don't know. I shouldn't assume that someone's just making up funny names, but I don't know what it is. But what we do is we use that field to allow our contributors to hashtag with things Ironic Week Pro. And that's sort of our way of saying as regular contributors that this is a patch that I feel like is ready for review. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to look at these priority code reviews. Then I'm going to look at backporting the fixes that I pushed yesterday to Reno, because those are going to be required going back quite a ways. And then finally, we're going to look at any patches that are not tagged priority. Now, if you're contributing to Ironic and you're not tagging your patches as priority when you need them reviewed, you're missing out, because a lot of people aren't going to see them. But, you know, I go through and I try to make sure that nothing falls through the cracks. That doesn't guarantee it, but hopefully it helps. So let's first look at this. We have this contributors whiteboard. You've probably seen it up the whole time. And this is sort of where we keep links and stuff. So if you're an Ironic contributor or someone interested in contributing to Ironic, you can come to our whiteboard and get links to most of the resources you need. In this case, I'm using it for the code review dashboard. So I hit it, and you see all this is just a query for hashtag Ironic Week Pro and open patches. So we're going to look through that. I can't review my own patch, which is sad. We got a bunch of backports here, so let's look. Policy says for OpenStack that we have to land things sort of going backward down the timeline when they're backporting. So, like, for instance, you're not supposed to backport something to yoga that wasn't in Zed. That kind of makes sense, unless you have a good reason. So we're going to look at the Zed one here, because it looks like the master one already merged. And these all have a V-2 on them. For release notes. Okay, got it. So I'm going to go ahead and backport that patch now then, so that I can hopefully get these jokers unstuck. Let me ask a question in chat here. So I'm just asking, because I think for bug fix branches, we're just going to punt the job. And for stable jobs, but I'm gonna go find my patch. Let's see, your dashboard. Honestly, the way I would normally find this is looking through my email, but I have no desire whatsoever to look through my email on an internet stream. So we're going to go the long way. We're going to search for patches that are by me, and we're going to see that I've got these jokers right here. So let's get some backports going, shall we? What did I do? Oh, what in the heck was that? Some sort of... That's interesting. I had no idea you could do that. Okay, well, you learn something sometimes. You can apparently pin things to Firefox. So you can do this a couple ways. You can do this on the command line using git and git review, and that's a perfectly fine way to do it, and I've done it that way a lot. When I'm doing stuff like this, though, I just like to use the UI. It's simple, it's easy. I just hit cherry pick. It's going to ask me where I want it to land. It's going to land in Zed, because Zed's the first one we got to go back. Note that it has this cherry picked from message that is required by OpenStack policy, so you're able to go to like any stable branch and trace the backport backward, which is important. So we're going to hit cherry pick, and what this is going to do is it's going to create a new patch set targeted to stable Zed with the same contents. And you can see it actually puts a message in the chat as soon as that's there. So we've got this. This is backported to stable Zed. And so now let's go to this. We've got a similar change in inspector and IPA. And we're going to do the same thing here. We're just going to backport it to stable Zed. Cherry pick. And then for this one, for IPA, again, we're just going to cherry pick back to stable Zed. So now that patch refresh this. I'm signed in now. Yeah, that's better. And send that through so that they know why that's failing CI. I'm not going to look at the other one of those. It's going to be broken in the same way. So I got to explain to Julia what happened. The actual thing that happened is Reno was seeing bugfix-1.x.y-EOL, assuming that mapped to stable/x.y due to a regex. So we have to exclude bugfix from that regex. But as far as I can tell, there's zero reason to run release notes jobs on bug fix branches. Yeah? I'm just going to backport the rel notes job fix through bug fix branches since there's no good answer here. So one of the nice things, remember I had the whiteboard up earlier. You come right here, you look at the ironic whiteboard, and you're going to see we actually have the correct order of backporting. So for ironic, it backports to stable 21.0. So I don't know what the deal is with that bug fix branch, but I'm going to backport through it because it's probably the right thing to do anyway. Okay, so 21.0, what's next after that? Is 20.2. Here, I'm going to do this. Yeah, so now 20.2 from 20.0 to 20.2. Back to stable yoga. And yes, this is as tedious as it seems like it is. There are probably, you know what, realistically, I probably could have a tool that I could use to do this for me. But I just, I don't know. I've never thought to do that. Okay, so now cherry pick through to From stable yoga to bug fix /19.0. Done. Cherry pick to stable Xena. To 18.1. And Wallaby. Victoria. Yasuri. And now Train. All right. I only get to do that 3 more times. You know what? I actually forgot a step. So I need to go through and touch all these. I have to make sure that the ones that aren't merged are hashtagged. I just gave you the whole spiel about how important it is to hashtag your patches. I guess I better do it myself, huh, too. Oh, she's already landed them. Maybe I don't need to do this then. I'm going to see. If Julia just lands these, I don't need to hit them with that. So now let's do Inspector. Inspector goes back to 11.0. And it's 10.12. Hey, Kuba, how's it going, buddy? Thanks for stopping by. I am backporting gate fixes. $10.12 from 11.0. Oh, trying to write in chat with my keyboard still pointed at thing. There we go. Okay, so where was I? From 11.0 to 10.12. So now I got to go to yoga. And 10.9. Then Xena. Hey, I appreciate you stopping by. I know this is a pretty tough time for you, so I appreciate you coming by. If you want to come by Tuesday, I can help you with anything you got left to get the inspector stuff over the line. You've done a really great job with that. It's been really nice to have you working with us on the team and getting that done. Okay, so this is Xena. Now I gotta go back to 10. I'm not necessarily the type of person who can do a really good job of like, oh hey, you know what? Review was actually what I started with today. Why don't you toss a link? Actually, you know what? I would say toss it into YouTube chat, but the reality is I'm doing a two-sided stream. So if you want me to make sure I have a look at that, make sure it's hashtagged Ironic Week Pro, and maybe link it to me in IRC, and then I'll make sure to get it before I go offline today. But right now I need to finish backporting this through since pretty much nothing's gonna merge until I get this through. Surrey. And train. All right. Inspector. Everything backported. That's good. All right. IPA time. Have a look at IPA. Backport time. We've already got this one here at Stable Z. Let's go to bug fix 90. From bug fix 90, we're going to go to bug fix 86. From bug fix 86, we go to stable yoga. Oh, man. Oh, talk about missing working on IPA. I had as my job for probably a year in the lead up to On Metal. It was the early days of the agent. It had very little cleaning methodology in there. What cleaning was there was stuff that I was inventing at the time. And so like I had a year where basically the 90% of my job was running IPA on servers, figuring out how to clean them. And some of this work was downstream too, like figuring out, for instance, how to automate, some specific tool that we were given by the hardware vendor. Actually, you know what? It was, at least for the first one, it was open source, where we wrote all of these different custom cleaning stuff. And this was literally being co-written alongside the API at the same time. So if you've ever had a complaint about the Hardware Manager API, I'm the guy you gotta blame. It's my fault. But we worked to get all of this done. I mean, this was my life, is figuring out how to clean these machines and getting them done, and automating it with IPA. And it was just so satisfying once we launched and we had everything figured out, just seeing it go and go and go. And you're right that that not even from like an upstream perspective, but just the testing cycles were so tight back then. It was very nice. I'll be honest, I still struggle sometimes with the amount of complexity in OpenStack overall as a service. Glyph said on the last one of these office hours I had when I was interviewing him that you got to be careful about systems that get bigger than what you can fit in your head. And I can still fit IPA in my head. I can't really fit Ironic in my head anymore. And so like that is, I think, part of the reason it's just so much more comfortable to work on this. But there you go. Blast from the past and On Metal Hardware Manager is open source. Our V2 Hardware Manager was not open source. So if you used On Metal Hardware V2 or anything like that, that was not open source, but it was primarily not open source because we were using tools that were under NDA from the device manufacturer that we weren't even allowed to acknowledge that those tools existed, much less that we had them and were using them. Be honest, it wouldn't surprise me if some of that applied to here too, but it's kind of too late for that. So, all right, so that's what we got. So coming back to here, I was backporting stuff before you made me nostalgia. So this is yoga. We got to go back to 8.3. And now Xena. Bug fixate 1, and then Wallaby, Victoria, Usuri, and Train. Time train. And see, this is kind of what I was getting at, right? Like I was saying that I lost almost a whole day yesterday fixing the gate. It just took me 30 minutes to backport. Oh, maybe not 30. Probably we'll call it 20 minutes to backport all these patches into 3 of these, and that's just pressing the buttons. And I haven't hashtagged it as Ironic Week Pro. I haven't necessarily done all the steps that I have to do. It's just there's a lot. So, you know, you get what you can done. You can't feel bad when you can't get the whole world fixed. Goodness gracious. All right. So I'm just blatantly like not gonna hashtag it. I'm asking. Ironic Week Pro is necessary if like it's there for review. Like if you have a patch up and you do not have it marked Ironic Week Pro, it's likely to be very, very angry at you. All right, we're gonna test master again. What do you mean you should do for your project? Whoa. So this thing that I fixed, literally less than 24 hours ago is already broken again. No, I mean, Kuba, we appreciate all the help you're able to give us. I know schooling's what's important for you right now, and that makes sense. Hopefully one day you'll get somewhere where they can pay you to work on all this, but you may not want it. Oh, shit. What in the hell? What changed? What changed between then and now? I'm testing it in pretty much the same way I did yesterday. check something. So I legitimately have no idea how this could have gone to pass from passing yesterday to just not today. Same version of talk, same version. I haven't even done updates or anything. So, damn. Here's what we're gonna do. Here's what I think we're gonna do. I'm gonna go look at the job history. Okay. So I know for a fact that I tested IPA yesterday, but there's a possibility I didn't test ironic. So I'm going to search for ironic and see if we ever had a job passing. So, how did this land? So, merged to ironic. What's the job that I'm looking for here? It's build OpenStack release notes. Yeah, see, in IPA Inspector, it was all... All right. Git move Reno.yaml to release notes /config.yaml, get status, get commit, move Reno config so that release notes job will run. In its current, no apostrophe because it's possessive. In its current place, the Reno config changes will not cause configuration will not cause on build OpenStack release notes job to run, which means changes can land to that config without being tested. Yikes. I don't know what's next. Oh, probably yoga. Yeah, we'll say yoga. ZYXW V U T. Okay. I kind of want to wait to see what the gate says about this. I want to see if this is going to run the job that I care about. Let's go see. Oh, open dev. It needs to be OpenStack. That's the reason I didn't find anything. Come back over there. That's more like what I'd expect. And it's running the release notes job. Huzzah! Okay, good stuff. Okay. Okay. So now we're going to run tox. We're going to see it fail again, and we're going to look at it and try to figure it out. Got 15 minutes left here, and in my work day in general. It stinks that it's still broken, but I'm not going to stay extra for this because I'm going to paste this here into chat. Oh, no, I'm not, because I don't have my YouTube chat up over here. I'll note that it still dies here. It still dies in the part where we're saying scanning release notes for Liberty. It happens immediately after that. So, like, I can make Reno be, like, secure against a none type there, I guess. So, line 867. So if you look here, you can see we had to make a thing where we're trying to exclude things if they have kilo in them and exclude things if they're bug fix. This worked when tested in like a little Python script, but I would completely buy that this regex could be the problem. I will admit to you here I don't know a damn thing about regex. I'm actually like hilariously bad at regular expressions, and that's why Adam is a co-authored by on that PR, because he helped me out writing these, and he wrote me like entire Python test programs. So I'm pretty sure this is right. Could it be that? Oh, because this is relying on match groups, we changed around the match groups. That has to be what happened. We're returning different match groups than it's expecting with this change. Maybe. I'm going to see if adding that hyphen does a damn thing. Okay, blows up in the same place in the same way. So that error is in an if match branch, but at no point does Reno check to ensure it has the match groups it expects. Hey, well, at least it failed upstream as well. So I want to go look and see at the stuff that landed in Inspector. Well, I guess it's on my disk, isn't it? No, it's not there. It's cat release note. Cat / ironic inspector release notes config YAML. right when you're in the depths of despair, just don't give up. That's basically both of these times when I fixed the release notes stuff. It was like fixed right around the time I was about ready to flip a damn table. So all right. So I gotta clear this up. I gotta protect the good name of Adam. Adam was kind enough to give me a regular expression. I was unkind enough to chop the R off of the end of it by accident. Put that in there. It's working. This is exciting and happy. I'm very glad that we got it. Now it's sad because I have to wait for that to land, and I have to figure out how to do the ironic backports tomorrow. Most likely we'll just backport this second change and go from there. So yeah, I'm gonna call it a little early. You saw sort of the full gamut of emotions here. The calm satisfaction coming into this, that I finally had a quiet moment. And Murphy was listening, and he sort of got in my way there and taught me a thing or two about assuming that I've got a quiet hour ahead of me. But we did prevent all the bad backports from landing. That's good. We were able to make sure that on Reno config changes, the release notes job will run. That's also really good. We've also fixed the issue in Ironic. So even though I'm sad that, like, I thought I had this fixed yesterday, I had to fix it today, we are leaving with a patch up that fixes Ironic's gate, which is excellent. And so tomorrow I'll have to backport that through again. That'll be fine. It'll be annoying, but it'll be fine. The first backport to Zed is going to be the interesting one there, because it's going to be messy. Most likely what I'll do is I'll just backport the commit I just made and not the one before it. And I'll have to basically make sure that I do the first rebase really well. And then you can sort of see the reason why we chain these when we're cherry picking them, because I can cherry pick. All I've got to do is the first really hard backport and stable Z, and then that should backport cleanly the rest of the way down, because I'm sort of doing the chain backporting. That's actually the reason why we do it. So that if you're backporting something that's not trivial, and you have to make it confine itself to an older API version or whatever, you're backporting that patch that's already got some of your rebase logic in it. So like, that's something that's generally useful to do, even if you're not in Garrett or OpenStack or for policy or whatever. But thanks for tuning in. I especially appreciate folks like Kuba who are tuning in, who I know it's late over there. So I am happy to sign off. I will say, as always, I like to call out my employer, G Research Open Source Software. We're a team. We go do good things in the open source software world because open source software has sort of done good things for G Research. And I appreciate them letting me have the opportunity to come out here to share knowledge, to have a breakdown on camera about release notes jobs breaking again. But I mean, this is what happens. This is real life open source. It's not. A lot of it's not glamorous. A lot of it is just keeping the wheels greased that other folks can keep getting their work done. So you saw that's what I did now, and tomorrow I really need to set aside time to make sure I get those reviews done that I need to do, and to get my own work over the hump. So thanks for tuning in. Again, thanks to G Research for letting me have it. I hope you all have a good weekend. And as always, come on by. I should be here Tuesday morning, about 8 a.m. Pacific time. If you want the UTC time, go to j.jdf.cc/office hours, and it's listed there. So, thanks everyone. Have a good weekend.